Join me today as we make butter chicken. And joining me today is Tito B.
Hi, it's me, Tito B. So, ito basic to. Sa mga basic Indian dishes na makikita natin sa lahat. So, sa mga friends ni Joseph, sa mga watchers niya na from the Middle East, for sure familiar kayo sa butter chicken. So, this is my template na I'll teach Joseph and he will pass on to you guys na pwede niyong pag-aralan, pwede niyong lutuin, pwede niyong i-adjust kung ano gusto niyong i-adjust.
And with that said, let's do this. We start things off by passing this stuff through a food processor.
Okay, so during the prep process, nakita niyo naman, blender namin yung onions and tomatoes at the same time. Well, it's basically what I saw with the Spaniards when they do their sofrito. So they cut vegetables into really small pieces and they cook it like really so to remove all the moisture. So parang ganun siya. So as you can see, it's not how I make it. It's not really Indian because as you can see, half Pinoy ako, half Filipino ko, half Indian. So yan, puro kami half. So I choose to do something different that I feel that it would add flavor. That for me it adds more flavor. Sure, it's not traditional because I am not traditional.
So yes guys, this recipe is not exactly the authentic way, but it's still damn good.
Okay, so with this dish, adjust nyo kung ano yung gusto nyo i-adjust. Pwede nyo bawasan konti yung chili powder, pwede nyo dagdagan if you want to make it spicy. You can use different varieties of chili powders like the ones that you get in Indian grocery stores, like the Kashmiri chili powders. It's much more red. Pero if di nyo trip yung masyadong manghang, you can lessen it or get your typical chili powder. Then you can add paprika, which gives also the red color that you can see. It's like it's more like a spiced tomato sauce.
Now, going back to the marinade.
Okay guys, so tip when marinating your butter chicken or your chicken tikka masala, I suggest give it a full 24 hours. Pero 15 to 20 minutes pa lang, kakapit na yung lasa. Ayaw niyo maniwala, ask Joseph. Kasi ginawa lang namin yung marination within 15 to 20 minutes. Hindi namin ginawa buong araw. Kasi sa totoo lang, paalis na ako. Pa ibang bansa na ako. So medyo may kailangan yung oras ko. So, if you can do it 24 hours, please do it 24 hours. But, don't over-marinate it. So, going beyond 24 hours is a little bit of overkill. You won't taste the chicken anymore kasi it will be full of sobrang how do you say it? May spices and the herbs, they have very strong flavor profiles. You won't taste the chicken anymore. As per se, you won't taste the lightness, the chicken flavor itself kasi it will be over marinated, it will be overpowered by the coriander, the mint, chili powders, garam masala, cumin and such. So I suggest please don't over marinate it. 24 hours max. Please.
Ayan, from the Tito himself. Now let's start cooking. You'll want a big pot for this and a generous amount of oil. We're going to quickly infuse this with our select spices.
Make sure when you cook your spices, keep an eye on it. Kasi lalo na if you're cooking at high heat, mabilis siya. Masusunog yung spices mo. Hindi mo ma-appreciate yung hint of spices while you're eating your butter chicken. So once the spices, cook it at least a minute and a half. Once you smell it, the fragrance coming out, immediately add your tomato and onion puree. Cook it out mo lang para mag-release lang yung moisture. So para siyang sofrito. So nagmumukha siyang sambal, pero hindi siya sambal Sabihin nyo, sambal na naman yan. Okay, mukha lang siya sambal, pero hindi siya sambal. Then you add your spices, then your garlic paste. You cook it all in, tanggalin nyo lahat ng moisture. Then you can separate it. You can add stock. Ako, I add stock kasi it adds more flavor. Since walang stock, I use chicken cubes, then water.
Now at this point, you want to kill the heat because we're going to cook the marinated chicken on a separate pan.
For sure, nakikita nyo, I'm using cast iron pan na pinaram sa akin ni Joseph. You can cook the chicken over the charcoal, which is actually better kasi it gives a very distinct smoky flavor. I know it sounds cliché, pero iba talaga yung nadadagdag pag inihaw nyo sa uling. Pero syempre, if wala namang available, you can do it on the pan. Tapos, if you see in the video na I'm deglazing the pan, kasi there's flavors yung flavor naka-stuck na yun. So, I'm sure nakita nyo naman. At some point, siguro nakita nyo kay Ninong Rai. All of us kasi, we're all from the same schools. We're all from the same school of thought. So, dahil we saw this professionally and it adds a whole level of flavor. Lalo na if you're scraping the fond. You call this a fond. Those are crust that's formed on the bottom of a pan when applied from high heat from certain proteins. So with that, you add water. Lagyan mo lang. Kiss-kiss konti. Siyempre, kung non-stick gamit mo, huwag mo kiss-kissin. Masisihay non-stick mo. Pero kung meron kayong mga pan makakapal, tapos medyo nagdikit-dikit, okay lang. Remove the chicken. You don't have to cook it naman all the way through. At least 60 to 70% give or take kasi you'll finish it in the sauce. So with the chicken, if linuto nyo sa pan, tapos nakita nyo magdikit-dikit konti, remove the chicken, turn up the heat, then you add water, you scrape it, tapos pag nag-loosen lahat ng bits, i-separate nyo sa isang lalagyan. Kasi liquid, that's liquid gold, that's flavor. Pwede siyang idagdag dun sa sauce, dun sa butter chicken. Mas sasarap siya. Promise. Pero syempre, wag nyo namang abutin to point na masusunog naman siya. Kasi papait siya. There's a certain balance to it. Tipong patawid na siya ng sunog, pero not really. It's almost there. Kaya pag nakikita nyo na, or pag nakita nyo na may brown na medyo, nakadikit na sa pan, remove the chicken, it's okay. Add water, try to scrape it, deglaze it, put it in a separate bowl, or a separate pot if you have, then add it to the sauce. Ibang level siya, promise, masasarap siya.
Now, using the same pan that was used to glaze all the fond, we're gonna go ahead and cook our tomato paste. This should only take about a minute or two, and once that is done, we're gonna go ahead and add it to this pot of sauce and finally finish it off. Reach for the deglazed liquid and go ahead and add it into the pot. As what Tito B was saying, that's where all the flavors are, so you want it in there.
Tapos, pag naano nyo na rin yung marinade na pinaglagyan ng chicken, isama nyo rin siya sa sauce while cooking it. Sabihin nyo, kasi pinaglagyan ng raw chicken. Hindi. Okay siya. Maluluto siya mawawala yung bacteria, mamatay yung bacteria kasi napunta siya sa init. There's applied heat. Please lang, huwag nyo sabihin magkakasalmonella kayo. Parang awa nyo na.
So at this point, we're gonna cook our salmonella-free sauce and of course, cut the chicken like so. Remember, the chicken is still slightly raw, so we're gonna finish this off inside the sauce, as mentioned by Tito B. Now we're almost done with the sauce here, so we're gonna add more butter. I mean, it is butter chicken after all, right? Mix it around until the butter melts. In with the cut up chicken breasts. Let this cook for another minute or two. Kill the heat and finally finish this off with some all-purpose cream. Give it a good round of mixing. And finally, feel free to add some chopped cilantro, and you should get something that looks like this. Now we're going to move on to plating. But while we're plating, I want to hand the mic over to Tito B.
So a little bit of a snippet here, a little bit of a trivia. So, as you know, butter chicken, it's an Indian dish, yet voted in Great Britain as their national dish. They call it Chicken Tikka Masala, but you can say it also as butter chicken. It's pretty much the same. So don't get me wrong here. It's pretty much the same. Pero no, it's just tomato sauce, cream, chicken that's marinated. Sometimes it can be cooked via charcoal. It can be fried. It can be cooked in the oven. Anyway, how you want to cook it. Basta kung kaya ng kusina nyo, kaya ng katawan nyo. It doesn't have to be very complicated. So follow this recipe.
And here is the finished product, butter chicken.
As you can see, cream, fresh coriander, cilantro, wansoy, lemon, over rice. Pero pwede nyo itong, mostly there are times that as Indians we eat it with naan, or chapati, or prata, but that's for another video. So for now, it's over rice, very hot steamy rice, butter chicken, and here we go.
Alright, begin. Cheers, pare. Butter chicken, guys.
Ba?
So flavorful, no? Penetrated so well to the chicken. Grabe. Panalo.
Partida, 15 to 20 minutes lang na marination to, di ba 1 hour? Paano pa kaya pag 24 hours na to? Plus, as you can see with the sauce, hindi siya spicy. It is spicy, pero you'll enjoy the flavor first before the spice hits you. It's supposed to be like that. Okay? Hindi siya dapat anghang kaagad sa Hindi. Pagkatikim mo muna, kailangan malasahan mo muna siya. Iba talaga pag nalasahan mo din yung anghang. And Indian food, if it's made properly, you won't feel the heat. You'll feel the heat in your body, not in your mouth. Okay?
That's what Tito B said. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I'll be flashing the recipe. Please pause the video. Until the next time, cheers.
Mangan!